Okay.
All right, so tell me a little bit about how the Sequoia Therapeutic Recreation got started. What is it generally and how did it get started?
Yeah, so Sequoia Therapeutic Recreation got started in April of 2021. I was previously working in Parks and Rec for 20 years, working with people with disabilities through community-based recreation, and my position was eliminated, but I wasn't done working in this field. This is what I want to do. So I started an LLC and then realized that I really needed a nonprofit because so many people were interested in volunteering and donating and being a part of what we were doing. So in August of 2021, we created the nonprofit. So it's Friends of Sequoia Therapeutic Recreation with a doing business as Sequoia Therapeutic Recreation.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So like what kinds of programs or services do you offer at your organization?
We have a variety of individual services and group activities. So the group activities, we have a social program on Mondays where we do crafts and games, a lot of arts. On Wednesday, so today we have bowling. We have Special Olympics bowling. And in the summer, you can see we did lawn bowling. So we worked with the Tacoma Lawn Bowls Club at Wright Park, and we did lawn bowling through May through August. And then we have some one-time events. We have a dance coming up at the Tacoma Armory where we're doing, it's called the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee. So it's a Halloween themed dance. And we do bowling and dinner and putt-putt. We went to a Rainiers game. Those are kind of the group activities. And then individual services, we provide our through DDA, Developmental Disabilities Administration. One is called Specialized Habilitation, and the other is Community Guide and Engagement. And that is, we work with each person and their individual goals and how can recreation help them achieve their goals.
Cool. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. If I could just talk about what the impact does this organization have on people with disabilities and like their and the community itself, like their providers and all that kind of stuff.
I think for the participants who are in the program, it gives them an opportunity to hang out with their friends, to meet new friends and maintain those relationships through activities. They look forward to seeing each other, like, what did you do over the weekend? What's the latest movie you've watched? And just have that connection in a structured place. The families, it's a really great opportunity for them to come together, to support each other, to share struggles, and to come together and just have that moment where they're connecting with people like them, going through similar life. And, it's been really neat to see that part of it. And then the community as a whole, we're at the bowling alley, we're down at Wright Park, we go to the Rainiers games. And so we're in the community enjoying it just like everybody else. And so that really brings community awareness to some of the needs that we have as a group and letting folks recognize that we're all just people wanting to have fun, trying to do what we do. And so I feel like just having those typical activities available to all people is really important.
Cool. Yeah, that's important, I think. So like, how are you involved in the community, like as a whole? Like, what kind of stakeholders do you partner with in your efforts?
Well, this community is pretty small. I think you probably have found that out. There's a lot of camaraderie with different agencies who do similar services, whether they're doing recreation at the same time or they're providing jobs, employment training, or housing. So some of the folks that I work with would be like the people at PC2 who are providing education and information to families. We work with PAVE. They're, helping families who have an individual with a disability find resources. We partner with the case resource managers at DDA to help them recognize us as a vendor in community recreation so they can refer their families to us. We work with Special Olympics. We're a new organization that's providing sports training for those upcoming tournaments. We also connect with other agencies like L'Arche. They have a farm where people work. They have houses where people live, and they're all about community integration. And so we really respect that philosophy and want to help them. Res Care is one of the larger organizations that provides residential support for folks with disabilities in the community. And we try to figure out how to help them get into the community and what supports they need from a vendor like us to get them active with their friends. So there's a lot of people that work together to try to, provide the opportunities that we are able to do.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's amazing. If I could just like get to like this question of like stigma, because I know there's a lot of stigma in the disability community. So like, how do you guys as an organization sort of tackle that from your perspective as an organization?
Yeah, it's going to be individual experiences, I think. For example, if I'm working with somebody who has a disability and we're at a restaurant and the waitress looks at me for the order and I'm like, you're asking them, they'll be happy to respond to your question. So it's just that small redirection of, they're a person, you should not be asking me to speak for them. They have an opinion too. So things like that, and offering opportunities for our participants to speak. We had an event in it was February, and I'm up there talking on the mic, and then Reagan comes up and grabs the microphone, and she has some things to say too. And her comments were probably more valuable than mine because she's one of the people in the program and she's advocating for what we are doing. So I think it's just giving people the spotlight and letting them communicate for themselves and showing the community members how to do that without making them feel stupid. Because sometimes if you don't have experience with someone with disability, you may not know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So just gently guiding them into ways to behave with others is what we try to do.
Cool. I think that's amazing. Just kind of like letting them have that space, I think is important.
Yes.